signed up so that we could pet Banana 3. Banana 3 is a 15-foot long yellow python. How cool a memory is that for a Saturday afternoon at the library? I have a lot of library moments. You all probably do too. I visit my library at all different times. This past Monday there was a fascinating doctor on the Dr. Oz television show. A couple of hours later I suddenly had to have that doctor's book. Thank heavens the library was open and I got my book at 7 o'clock on a Monday night. Greenbelt's newly renovated library is awesome. Thank you. Please do not cut our library hours. Please keep our libraries open as many hours as you possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle Battle.
Good evening to all.
Good evening.
And to our county executive, thank you so much for opening this budget hearing in various locations around the county so that you can enjoy full participation from your constituents. We congratulate you on the position and we wish you much success because we're going to work with you.
Great, thank you.
I'm here on behalf of the National Congress of Black Women, the Maryland chapter located in Prince George's County. We joined the library in knowing that children enjoy success and achieve success through a variety of mediums, one of which is learning in non-school settings. The National Congress of Black Women has a motto of SOS, Save Our Sisters, Sons, and Schools. The purpose of the National Congress of Black Women is to improve the educational, social, and economic status of women and their families, and to serve as a nonpartisan voice and instrument in the election and appointment of women at all levels of government, and again to save our sisters, sons, and schools through our signature programs, the College for Kids program and the College for Teens program. And I want to elaborate just a few seconds on the College for Kids program. We've graduated over 2,000 students in 10 states and 15 cities since the program began at the University of Pennsylvania in 1995. We describe an established, successful program targeted toward youth ages 9 through 12 years old. In our schools, we would call this an opportunity for extended learning. The College for Teens program is another of our initiatives, which includes developing and conducting programs that address the educational crisis among today's youth and that motivate and prepare them to excel academically, to attend college, and to succeed in professional careers. Our nonprofit organization, a 501c3, has worked with the public school system, the local colleges, Bowie State University, Capital College, and the University of Maryland College Park. We're bringing this information to the new county executive so that we can be of assistance in whatever manner you deem appropriate so that we can continue to produce students in the Prince George's County Public Schools who are able to take advantage of non-traditional professional careers. We thank you for this opportunity and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Gail Cox.
Shouldn't have touched that, sorry. Good evening, County Executive. Congratulations, and to your panel and to all the elected officials. My name is Gail Cox. I'm with the Literacy Council of Prince George's County, and we are friends of the library too. And well, as you know, 1 out of 5 residents struggle to read. And what we would like to, when I came with the Literacy Council back in 2004, I found out as I signed up to be a tutor that there were over 100 county residents waiting to be served. and I didn't like those numbers. So once I finished tutoring, I decided to solicit the board, and I am now a board member and a treasurer of the Literacy Council. And that number is still high. What would be heartbreaking is to continue to have over 100 county residents still waiting to be served who has gained the courage to even let their families know that they struggle to read. And a lot of their families don't know. And I would just like to bring that number down, and to do so, we need you to add at least $150,000 to the line item in the budget. And for every dollar that you contribute to us, the federal and state government will give $5. I think that's a great investment. And as treasurer, I've been nicknamed the Eagle Eye. So we appreciate if you can take an eagle eye on your budget and add that in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott Graham.
Good evening. My name is Scott Graham. I'm Executive Director of Reality, Inc. And thank you for the opportunity to address you and talk about the county budget for next year.
Thank you.
Reality, Inc. is a private nonprofit provider of substance abuse treatment to individuals in Prince George's County. It's a residential program. We have an intermediate care facility and a halfway house that are the only facilities of their kind in Prince George's County. We believe that we have a significant positive impact on the budgets of other programs within the county government, including the school system, public safety, social services, health department, and housing and community development. Last year, we served over 350 Prince George's County residents. And data that we collected this year indicates that post 90-day discharge, 89% of the people that we have served in our program are still clean and sober. So we continue to have an impact on those budgets after people leave. In the past couple of years, the county has included an $80,000 supplemental appropriation in its budget that has gone to Reality. Since our funds come through the health department from the state, those funds have been flat for years. And so we rely on that appropriation that comes through the county budget and its county general funds to help us meet our ends meet. And so we'd ask that you, we urgently ask that you assure that that $80,000 gets into the budget for FY12. I'll leave you with a little case study about somebody that came to our program last January, a few weeks before I started as executive director. I'll call him John. John was in his mid-50s. He had been on the street for 27 years, homeless. He was a polysubstance abuser, mentally ill, and had physical disabilities. He had bone spurs in his heels, he had cataracts in his eyes. It was a struggle, but he made it through our 28-day program and then moved on to our halfway house. While he was there, we got him to the Wilmer Eye Institute in Baltimore and got his cataracts removed. We were successful in getting SSI and Medicaid. We were able to get his ankles worked on and got the bone spurs removed. He ultimately got a part-time job at a local church in Laurel. Now he's moved on to affordable house, senior housing in Laurel, and is a productive citizen in the community after 27 years being on the street. It's not so important that we saved other departments money in the county, but in this case, we saved a life, and I believe we've saved many lives over the 38 years that we've been in their existence. Please think about that $80,000. It's a great investment. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for the work that you're doing.
James Egan.
Valerie Cunningham, and I am here on behalf of James Egan's for Transitional Zones Incorporated. We are a newly established, and I'm a board member with Transitional Zone. We're a newly established 501c3 organization, and we are working with parents, with high schools, in order to reduce the recidivism rate amongst our teenagers and our young people in our community. I'm not here tonight to actually ask for a fiscal amount, but what I would like to do is just to impress upon the county executive that we are in need of space, we are in need of volunteers, we need some help with grant writing. The 501c3 was actually established in December of 2010. But we really feel the need to work with our young people, again, to make sure that they don't escalate their negative behaviors and end up with our director of with corrections. So we're definitely asking for any assistance that we can get in that regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You should know one of the things that we're looking at during the transition, and we're waiting for the reports this week, is the establishing office of faith-based and nonprofit, where we actually, we're doing some of the grant writing now, but actually looking at targeting that. So we will take that under consideration. Thank you.
Christian Wainwright.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Christian Wainwright. I'm the chair of the Prince George's County Justice and Advocacy Council of the Archdiocese of Washington, and I live in Adelphi. We welcome you, Mr. Baker, and your election to this new role in serving the people of Prince George's County, and we welcome the new opportunities for transparency in government and better accountability to the people of this county. Back in 2010, candidate Baker was sent a survey from our Justice and Advocacy Council. In it, you pledged to support for 7 of our issues. Some of these have budget ramifications, and I'm here following up on your pledge.
Those pesky pledges.
Yes. Prince George's County still leads Maryland in foreclosures. According to Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development statistics, for 2010, we have 13.8% of the housing units and twice that percentage of the foreclosures. Our nonprofit housing counselors are overburdened, and they need some county help. The social safety net shouldn't be used to balance the budget. They need to be preserved in this time of economic crisis. There's inadequate emergency housing for young mothers and their children. There's also inadequate resources for domestic violence victims. In September 2009, the County Council approved a bill, CB 28. It would effectively move adult bookstores to industrial zoned areas. It's supposed to become effective at the end of this year. In the past, the county's failed to enforce even the current zoning on adult bookstores, so we ask you to hire staff or retool the staff to support that enforcement. As I understand it, Prince George's County is the only jurisdiction in the country to have at one point enacted inclusionary zoning and then later repealed it. Our county needs to develop a vision for the future of housing that includes all its residents. This vision needs to incorporate some of the plan for workforce housing and low-income housing, and that could be inclusionary zoning or community benefit agreements, some way that new housing opportunities have to be available for all our county residents. Anyway, the Catholic community looks forward to working with you and your administration in all your tough decisions, budget and otherwise. Remember the elderly, the disabled, and the poor. We pray for the wisdom of the Holy Spirit to be with you in these difficult decisions, and I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay.
Lloyd Scott.
Good evening, Mr. County Executive, members of the administration. I want to recognize Pastor Victor McGodman, the Senior Pastor of Christ International Ministries.
All right.
I represent Christ International Ministries. About a year ago, we officially opened our doors to provide, there's a dearth of resources, accessible programs for youth and young children in our county. With the help of Councilman Tom Denoga, Pastor Victor McGodman birthed this idea of giving to our children that which they could readily benefit from. Children's Palace currently owns a 12,000 square foot facility in Laura Bowie Road, very accessible. And so we provide to our kids extracurricular activities, after-school programs, trainings. We are also partnering with a Christ International Ministry affiliated nonprofit that's focusing on waywardness and juvenile delinquency in the county. The county attorney talked about law enforcement. We will reach out to the county attorney's office to see how we can get some of these juveniles into our program to mentor and work with them. I gave you a short story. We've currently started working with some of the young people. We have a 17-year-old young man. He's been in the system since he was 12. We have a governor, a county attorney, a state attorney who are all lawyers. We haven't found a way to get this young man out of the system and working for the system. In the last 3 or 4 weeks, he's began talking about getting his GED, going to college and making a life for himself. These are the things we talk about. These are the things we want to work on. You talk about making a good county great. We want to work with you to do those things. And so to providing after-school programs and life skills, life training. We have licensed clinical psychologists who's on board right now working with our young people. We have educators who provide, and these services are right now being provided for on an as-needed basis, free of charge. That cannot continue. They can't continue doing that. People cannot continue to just reach out. We really, really want to help our children. We want to help the county reduce the rate of recidivism, not set crime standards. Thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you. And I also want to commend Pastor Victor for the work he's doing in the community. And let me just take the chance that Mr. Wainwright was up here. I didn't get a chance to thank you for the work that you're also doing in the community. We need that, and we certainly will take these things under consideration.
Christopher Wilbur.